They didn't take theirs out. And do you know, they brought the rifles home, and I couldn't bring mine home because I wanted to get out.
Where did you grow up?
Right here in Fairmont,
Mm-hmm.
up on 2 streets down from here. I was born in 1924, and I had 4 sisters, and I was the only boy. And it was back in the hard times then. I wanted to play sports, and couldn't play sports because I had to dig the garden first, make sure we had tomatoes and everything in it. And so by the time I'd finished digging the garden, we have a football field that's about 12 miles out, 12th Street. And by the time we'd walk out there, I was too late to get a uniform, too late to practice. So I just gave it up.
Were you drafted into the military?
I was drafted, in 19. He was 1940. Yeah.
3?
Yeah, 1943, and I came back out in 46. And then I went back to school and got my diploma. After I got my diploma, I come out. Then I went in, I worked in 3 different coal mines. And then finally, I took a test for the post office. And they got a job in the post office. And I was there for 34 years.
Nice.
And then I had my own trucking business, tearing down houses and hauling for people. And I gave it up, maybe about 4 years ago.
What, where did you go to basic training?
Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was your job in the military? Were you infantry? Were you a radio
I
officer?
was in the infantry.
Really? So, how did they determine, I guess, because I meet a lot of veterans who served in a segregated military, and some of them ended up in the 92nd, you ended up in the 93rd. Was it just luck of the draw?
No, they wanted me to go in the Navy, and I can't swim. So they said, they called my name, it's the Navy. And I said, let me go in the Army. Please let me go in the Army. And I hollered again. He said, okay, the Army. And they shipped me off on the side. And I went in the Army and had our basic training in Fort Claw, Alabama.
And everyone in your basic training, were they African American?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 white officers. One was a captain, the other was a first lieutenant. And they just treated us like dogs. The one said, he said, how many people you guys can drive? And back then, all we wanted to drive a truck or anything. And I threw my hand up, about 4 more threw their hand up. He says, get on the back of the truck. So we got on the back of the truck. And they went up a couple of hills and then down. And here was a great big stack of coral rocks, the white rocks. And he said, okay. He said, I want you to drive all these big ones into small pieces. And I never volunteered anymore.
When did you find out you were going to be part of the 93rd Infantry Division? Did that come after basic training?
After basic.
Were they already in the Pacific at that time, or?
No, we went to the Pacific after
So
training.
you're an original member.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Would you have preferred to serve in Europe, or did you?
Well, I didn't know anything about Europe.
Okay. Where was the first place you landed in the Pacific?
They're in Guadalcanal.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Guadalcanal, and I'll tell you, being a young man, when we got to Guadalcanal, and it had everything was just shot up. I mean, it shot the whole place up, and mud was knee deep. And we got out, and I looked up, I said, man, oh man, I couldn't believe it. And we got set up there, and then we had to almost go through basic training again. We had all the material that they used for training, and we had these great big ropes, like you see these people climb up these ropes, and you had to climb up and fall over. So we all climbed up, and I got almost to the top. And he said, if you don't fall over, you got to do it again. Well, it was rough, and I said, well, hey, I got to get over. So I just kept pulling on myself, and finally I got top, and I fell over. That was the happiest day of my life.
So you did more training on Guadalcanal, huh?
Oh yeah.
Now, when the white soldiers and the white Marines and they see this black infantry unit show up to Guadalcanal, did you guys get any snickering? Did they have faith in you guys?
There wasn't no white, all black.
Yeah. No, I mean, did other divisions see your division land on Guadalcanal?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. All right.
And I mean, it was heck over there.
Right. So, at that time, Guadalcanal had already been secured, right?
No, it almost been secured.
Okay. And so, did you had to do cleanup operations?
Well, we did everything. We cleaned up the island, got it cleaned up, and then we moved from island to island.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Guadalcanal, Lady Island, Mindanao, Sansifor, New Guinea, Biak. It was quite a few places. And just soon we got on Lady Island, you know, they had those trucks that run on water and land. We just got there and got ready to set up. And we just got our beds and everything up. And just by the time we got set up, we got a call. Get off the island, they're going to blow it up in 15 minutes. So we got our stuff together and put it on that, what do they call those?
The duck boats?
Huh?
The ducks?
I guess. You know, they run on land and water.
Mm-hmm.
And we all got over there and we got...
The Amtrak, there was Amtraks, there was the ducks.
And we got far away enough where we could see the island. We just saw the island just go up in flames.
Wow. Did they bomb it with B-24s or something?
I don't know about the...
Did they bomb it from the air?
Yes.
Which island was that?
It was on Lady Island.
When was the first time that you saw a Japanese soldier?
We were sitting there playing cards one evening, and a Japanese soldier, they were just wore out. It was two of them, and the guy spotted them coming way up on the hillside, and he went out and took a gun. He shot both of them. And he got the equipment off of him. He just let him lay there.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
Which you were telling me a story about, I think, hand grenades right before I cut you off.
Oh yeah. We was on this island. I'm not sure which one it was, but I had 3 hand grenades, and my M1 rifle, and a bayonet, and I was down this hole and I had airplane mats over the foxhole. So I come up out of the foxhole, and when I got up out of the foxhole, I walked out, and it was all level land, just as level as you could see. And I could see that from here to Bellevue. I could see that far. And my mother would give me a Bible. It had a metal back on it. I got it in the room right now. And because I lost and didn't know where it was at. I got my picture up in the museum up at Weston. Got a great big picture, and then with then the red roses, then all my stuff you put on, badges and everything. And I got up, and there wasn't anybody close to me, nobody. And I walked out and looked all through the area. I couldn't see anything moving, nothing. And so I squatted down, I stood up, leaned forward and backward, couldn't see anything. And all at once, something hit me right there in my heart. And I had a Bible there. It knocked me down. When it knocked me down, I just laid down there for fear that it hit me again. I don't know whether it was a bullet or what it was. It just some kind of metal. It hit me, and I laid there on the ground. Oh, I know for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. After I laid on the ground, I got up and started looking, and I still couldn't see nothing. And never did see anything. So I went back in my foxhole, and I stayed there till the next day.
You think it was a rock? You think someone was throwing rocks at you?
There wasn't nobody around.
Hmm.
I couldn't see anybody. And it hit me in my heart, and then my heart kind of hurt there for a while. But that Bible with the...
But your clothes weren't ripped, right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
That Bible, well, had my bullets all around in my belt, but I didn't have any up here. And I got up, looked around, and I got back in the foxhole, and I stayed in that foxhole. But I could never tell what it was, whether it was shrapnel or bullet or what.
What island do you think was the worst for you?
Wasn't there on Sansifor, New Guinea. Yeah, they were shooting. In fact, we had these two white officers. I was in Company B, and I had a fellow, he passed away years ago. His name was Thomas Sanders. He gave me the hand grenades, and I went way out and was looking around. You couldn't see anybody, but those officers had us firing at each other. They was on one side of the hill and we was on the other, and they was firing at us. Then when they hollered, "Hey, you're firing on your own troops." And then they got rid of those two officers. They got two black officers there. And one was first sergeant, and the other one was the captain.
So New Guinea was the worst for you. Was that because of weather conditions? Was that because of the enemy?
Well, on the island we was on, we went out and we was on the way big hillside. They up from here down there where you turn to come here. And we was there looking, trying to find the fight. And here we was firing on our own men.
So that was the friendly fire incident that was a close call for you.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you lose any friends during the war?
Yes, but most of them were from out of state and different places.
Okay.
I met some from Kentucky, and some were from Indiana.
I often hear a lot of veterans who served in the Pacific,
Yeah.
who said because the Japanese were cut off from their supplies because of the Navy battles going on,
Yeah.
that when they did encounter Japanese, they were dying, starving, and weak.
Oh yeah, we had the Japanese kids. We didn't see any grown Japanese men, but the kids were about anywhere from 3 years old to about 5 or 6, and they were starving. So we had these 2 cooks. And after everybody would eat, we had these big garbage cans, and we'd take and put the food in the garbage cans. And then about after 3 or 4 days, we got an order, don't feed them anymore. That broke my heart. I mean, you see kids out there starving, every time you could take a bite, they'd take a bite. And it was bad.
Was there a particular island that had the most civilians on it?
Wasn't too many civilians. I didn't run across too many civilians. It was all the 93rd group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should come in contact with the Japs. The only 2 Japs I come in contact with were the ones that, without scouting around, and my 2 buddies shot them and took the rifles and stuff. But so far, I've seen a group now.
Did you bring home any souvenirs yourself?
Yeah, I got a coconut downstairs. I sent that to my mother.
That's cool.
And so I had it, I gave it to a guy, and then I thought about it, I better keep this thing.
I know a lot of guys collected, Japanese flags, that kind of thing.
No.
Did you ever see any banzai attacks or anything like that?
Any what?
Banzai charges? Did the Japanese ever do any banzai charges?
No.
Mm-hmm. Did you see Japanese prisoners at all?
No.
Mm-hmm. They didn't like to surrender, did they?
No. I was never there. I was on guard most time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see any of them.
Yeah.
But they were bad. They would shoot anything they saw. We had one guy to die. He well, they told us when we first got there, don't mess with any of the women. He said, because they would have all kind of diseases and stuff. So this one guy, he was very intelligent. So they would line up and have these women up on top of the hill, and they went up, they got in line, and the guy went up there, and he got this one girl, and she's just taking one on at a time. So he got infected. I don't know what it was, but he went to the medics, and they had to cut off part of his penis.
Oh my God.
And when they cut it off, and he had him in the hospital, I went to see him several times. And then finally, it got right to his groin, and they cut that off, and he died.
Jesus. Good Lord.
Yeah, and the food over there was bad. We had 2 cooks that were twins, and it was hotter than Hades. And man, they was in there cooking up the food, eating it with their spoon. Perspiration was just running all down over their back and shoulders, all into this big pot. And I said, nope, I'll never eat any of that.
How was were there a lot of bugs and wild animals on these islands?
No.
Snakes and stuff?
Oh, yeah, there were snakes.
Yeah.
Now, I walked up on one, that snake was about that big around,
Wow.
and from here out the street.
Jeez.
And I didn't know whether to jump over him or jump back.
Did you go to a lot of reunions after the war of the 93rd Division?
Yeah. No, I didn't go to any reunions, but we had meetings up at I got a bunch of pictures. Hey, Keith.
We'll see him. I'll grab Keith in a minute.
Okay.
Great. I think that's all I got for you. Yeah. Just closing up. What would you say if you want people to remember the 93rd Infantry Division, what would you say?
Well, we just caught hell over there. There wasn't no friendliness or anything.
How many survivors from your division you think are left?
Not too many.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many. Yeah, we just had to suck it up.
Thank you so much for letting me in your home and doing this interview, and I'm going to provide it to your family as well.
Thank you. Hey, Keith,